Welcome into the studio. Happy Friday. Dad's across from me, Todd. I'm Hudson, and John's on the couch from VO Marketing Pro. And our numbers video this week is going to look a lot like it did last week. So we're going to be starting our VO Marketing Pro Plus group here soon. We'll get you more details on exactly when that'll be. But our numbers are going to be kind of, how do I say this? Minimal, abbreviated, yeah. Mm-hmm. For the first part, and that's going to be what goes out to people on the internet. And then we've got a VO Marketing Pro Plus group that we're going to break down our numbers and jobs and talk about certain ins and outs of our week for those people. So if you have any interest in that group or more information about that group, you can contact us in the comments. You can email John or I. You can email John at johnbarsness@vomarketingpro.com. No spaces or uppercase letters, and then hudsonbarsness@yahoo.com if you want to get right to us.
And we produced a video that's on our YouTube channel, and if they want to know where that is, or if they want us to, comment, we can point you in the right direction, or even send you a link to it or whatever, explaining VO Marketing Pro Plus.
Yeah, well, I can send. This is, I guess, there's a little meeting within this, but I could just send it out with the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
The Friday VOMP update that we send. I'll just attach it.
That'll handle.
You can watch it when you want.
People.
You can watch it if you want to. You can pass up whatever you want to do, but that'll give you a little bit more information, and you can take it on. Or if you have some people that are in the VO world that you wouldn't mind, that they're friends with, that think you might benefit from that, pass it on, please.
And then just a reminder that all of these videos, the past videos, will be in their folders, but we're going to be moving all of our Todd's Tips numbers. If we do more listener questions and stuff like that, those will be moved over to VO Marketing Pro's YouTube page. So check on there if you want to see any future numbers, Todd's Tips, stuff like that. So with that said, we will jump into our numbers and start with the VO Marketing Pro group to start.
All right. Yeah, we had a really nice week here. 62 warm responses. Nice.
Incredible.
15 auditions. And 13 jobs reported.
Oh.
Todd Haskell with 1, Jennifer White with 1, Noel Romano with 4, Deanna Johnson with 3, and Hudson Barsness with 3. So I think that gives me the math. 4.
Yeah,
that's right. 4. So that'd be 13. Yep. My bad.
That's okay.
So yeah, nice week. People that have stuck with it. All those people that I named off basically have been with us for well over a year, and they're seeing the benefits. So just hang in there. I will mention 2 things. One thing that came up this week, Joe and I were talking about, is just stay encouraged this time of year, because it's towards the end of the year. There's holidays coming up, a lot of people out of office, things like that. So, sometimes this is where you can see a little bit of a dip within what you're going to get for jobs. Hopefully that's not the case, but it can be around the holiday season. So hang in there. And it's also the end of budget too for some of these production companies, agencies. And so that's just kind of how November, December goes. That's why we're not doing it this year, but we usually take a vacation to someplace warm towards the end of November. We're not doing that this year. And then secondly, I get this question a lot, and I'm sure Dad will go into a little bit of a detailed answer, but people will say if they're joining, or if they're want to do a hybrid approach, they'll say, but what if I run into you? Meaning, what if I send out to the same company that you do? Chances are you might, in the sense that we have over 18,000 video production companies, ad agencies, voice rosters, etc. So there's a chance that you might, but that's not how I wouldn't worry about that, because if you're sending out 50, 100 or whatever, the chances are fairly small that you'll hit them right at the same time. And I sent out for one person, and the person had sent something out to them a year ago, and they sent back the same response that they sent back a year ago. Yeah. The same response that they sent to this person this week. And so there's a lot of people doing direct email marketing, and these people are as busy as all of us are, and they have lives, and they don't remember things, and they put you in a folder, or they keep you top of mind. Some of them do. Lots of them do, or they don't respond or whatever. But just don't let that hold you back, and don't think that should be a concern. If it does happen, we've had it happen a couple times where people say, "Hey, you recently contacted me." It's an easy thing to kind of throw us under the bus and say, "Well, my marketing assistant, sent it out on by accident or whatever. We won't send it out or whatever." It's easily explained away, and they usually aren't worse for the wear, and they don't get too grumpy. They just move on. So that's what I wanted to say. I don't know if you have anything beyond that to say, but that was kind of just something that people come up with a question a lot, and I think it's a fine question if you don't know direct email marketing that well, or if you just are kind of concerned about it because it's your business. But that's what we tell people. Is
there are
don't
tens
be
of thousands of video production companies, ad agencies, voice rosters, tens of thousands in the United States and Canada, and we have a global database of about 19,000. And so the chances of you running in to us or,
sending
for our marketing,
time,
and again, even if it's honestly, I've had it happen. I've done it over the years. 2 days later, they say, "Oh, thanks a lot for this. We'll make sure we put you in." They don't say, "Hey, didn't you just send me one of those?" And I did have that one time happen to me because I've told that story before. I sent one on a Friday and missed where I was going on the Saturday, and the guy was grumpy with me. And I just thought, well, okay, fair enough, but went on to the next one.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say is probably don't worry about it either, because if they're getting grumpy, even if it's one or two times, they might not be the type of person you want to work with anyway. Just keep that in mind, and on to the next one. So
I'm doing something with my updates. My assistant, Andy, I sent him just a slightly different one for my new clients, for my new outreaches, as I do for my update. And he got back with me. He said, "Did you see that the links were the exact same ones?" And I said, "Yep, I did that on purpose. I'm going to try something." And that's what I'm going to try, is just a couple of months later, sending kind of the same one back. It'll have a different subject line, but my guess will be is none of them will be, they won't be aware of it. That's what my guess will be. And it's not really to prove this specific point, but in another sense, I think it will. I think it'll prove the point that a week, a month, 2 months, it's just not going to matter. They won't remember you. They just won't.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for that. Congrats to all of you who book jobs, and congrats to those who are maybe not booking jobs but are still doing the work to
people are keeping you in mind.
To send out emails and to, even if it's like, I don't know if it's working, keep sending them out because it will. It will. Anyway, my numbers this week I'll go through real quick. I had 5 warm responses, 1 audition, which I won. I had 1 new client, that's from the audition. And then I had I had 4 jobs from direct email marketing altogether. 3 were recurring, 1 was new. And then I booked, let's see here, 6 jobs on Upwork, and then 2 jobs on Fiverr. I also did 100 hours. I did 8 hours of editing for Dad this week, for a grand total of $1,178.46. And for the VOMP Plus group, what they'll be getting is our deeper dive. You'll see a breakdown of that after Dad's done here. So
I had $270 on Upwork. That's 2 jobs. $1,704 on Fiverr, 12 jobs, and $2,570 on direct marketing. That's 16 jobs for a total of $4,544. $4,544 for my week. So I was about $1,500 below what I'm trying to average, and you were $300 above, close to $300 above.
Yep. So anyway, now let's move on to what the VO Marketing Pro Plus group will get. And that is a deeper dive into our numbers. I don't know if you want to go first or I can go first.
Ahead. Yeah.
I'll go first.
Ready.
So I had 12 jobs altogether this week. That's between my direct email marketing and my Upwork and Fiverr and Voice 123. I haven't booked a job on Voice 123 yet, but I keep putting my nose to the grindstone, What do they call that?
Sure, whatever.
We'll call it that. Maybe that's not what it's called, but anyway, my new
shoulder to the plow.
Shoulder to the plow. There you go. My new job was worth $150. That was the audition that I won. And then I had two recurring clients come back to me, 2 jobs from one of them and another job from the other one. One of them from the recurring client was $99 and $88.60. And then I had a couple revisions that they paid me for. And then the other one is a $200 job as well from a recurring client. I just wanted to say that all of those jobs that I did, when we talk about rates and stuff like that, I don't think I would have made any money this week if I would have said, I only do $250 or above or whatever the rate. I don't even know what the rates are. But instead I made $544.90 on direct email marketing, which is $200 less than what I'm trying to do for my goal this week. So I just, I don't care what people think. I have to make money myself. I have to get to my $750. Then on Upwork, I had a $200 job, a $75 job, and 4 $50 jobs. So 4 $50 jobs. I booked 9 scripts for $50 a piece. And so I've done 3 of those so far, and he's going to send me more. So you'll be hearing more about that next week. Then I did some on-hold stuff for a lawyer out of Texas. That was kind of fun. And then I had a $200 job, which I get $180, which was, I don't know, maybe like a minute video that I did on Upwork. So for Upwork, I made $427.50.
Nice.
And then go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, where are you on Upwork as far as you've been there for, not quite 2 years? Have you been there a year and a half?
A year and a half.
And
I'll be, yeah.
Where are you at money-wise?
I've made over $15,000. And then on Fiverr, I had a $20 job and a $40 job for $48. So my voiceover alone this week was $1,020.40 altogether. Nothing on, like I said, Voice 123. I did 8 hours of editing for Dad, which is part of that. But yeah, I just kind of, for my direct email marketing and my Upwork, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to be busy. And so I try also to get as much as I can out of the budget, but I don't want to price myself out so that I lose the job, because to me, working is more important. Getting the job is more important than the price at this point. Now, obviously, I want, if their budget's $250 instead of $100, it's like, yeah, I'd much rather take that. But if they're saying, well, we'd like to hear what you would, it's like, well, I can be flexible because I want to work. So I maybe could have gotten more out of that guy that's paying me $50 per thing, but I thought
What you're talking about is a huge philosophical difference in the voiceover industry. On one hand, people are saying you got to keep rates fair. You got to have the right rates, and they have their guides and things like that. And then and that typically is project by project. I want to make $400 on this project. I won't work for less than $400 on that project. I got to make $1,000 here. And so it's project by project. Whereas what we practice is filling up our day because you want to work, because you're in business, and you want to make money because that's the purpose of being in business. And some people say, again, like I said last week, oh, you left money on the table by not charging more. Well, most of my business, I would leave money on the table. I wouldn't make any money because I'm looking at just filling up my schedule and making a certain amount per day, not per project. Like you said, of course, I want to get the most, and I have a general idea of what I want to work for. And sometimes I do say I'm not going to work for that, and you do too. But it's rare because you want to fill up your day with work, and if it's not filled up at this point,
it's better to make money than not make money for me. Right. And so then altogether, I had 12 jobs this week. I had 4 in direct email marketing. I had 6 on Upwork and 2 on Fiverr. My grand total altogether with the editing was $1,178.46. $1,178.46. And I just was going to say, I had a guy, I've contacted him maybe 4 or 5 times, direct email marketing, and he hasn't ever gotten back to me. And this week he got back to me and said, hey, you've contacted me multiple times. Do you mind, I'll keep you in mind. Do you mind not contacting me anymore? And he said, can you respect that? And I said, yep. I could have said, I appreciate your email. If you would have responded basically to one of my first emails, I wouldn't have continued. But I'm out there to make money. I want to work. And so I don't really care that I took him off so that I wouldn't keep emailing him because he said he'd keep me in mind. But if he would have done that originally, then I would have, not that it's his fault or anything like that. But
the irony about these people, these companies, because we go and search for companies all the time, is that they'll have video production, but they'll also have marketing specialists. They'll be marketing specialists. So they're in the game, if you will, too, of marketing. How do they get business? Well, they have to market themselves too. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people get frustrated and it's like, well, but you're in this same business. And so, yeah, I can respect that, but I don't really understand why you're bothered by it. So it's probably more so that they had a rough day or they had a rough time, with their spouse or whatever, or their kid, whatever. So there's plenty of things going on that can make people grumpy.
So I just took the high road and just said, I can respect that. Thanks for letting me know and for keeping me in mind. So
I think that's one of the things that if you're going to do direct marketing, which you should be doing direct email marketing, or cold calling or some sort of direct marketing, when somebody does that kind of a thing, to take the high road, don't be hurt. Mm-hmm. Don't be offended. I mean, you might be inside. Don't be deterred by that. In other words, I got a bad response. Just go on. Like we said earlier, there's tens of thousands of video production companies, and you're going to run into people that have bad days, and you're going to run into people that are grumpy, and you're going to run into people that have just been contacted 4 times that day. And they'll say that, and they'll be grumpy with you, but you can't be hurt, offended, or have it deter you from.
And that person might come back and give you a job.
Still might use you.
They might not remember that they were, grumpy or having a bad day or even, whatever. And they might say, hey, actually, something just came up a couple weeks later or a year later. And you don't want to ruin that relationship by saying, well, hey, you should do this. And I'm marketing, so you shouldn't, act that way. And then, they don't want to work with you now either. Mm-hmm. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, I had a couple of questions.
Go ahead, ask.
So, I keep a pretty close tab on what you're doing day by day and week by week and yearly, month by month and yearly. It seems to me that what's happening with you, like you had 12 jobs this week.
Yeah.
Remember last year? There were some days you went the whole day without any jobs, maybe sometimes 4 or 5 days, maybe sometimes almost a week, you'd maybe get one job. Do you find that, like, let's pretend like, this is a calendar of each month, you got your 12 months and each one has weeks in it. Do you find that this is what I'm seeing is you would go like week after week after week with just a few jobs and like, I'm not going to, and then there'd be maybe this spike of $800 or $1,000, and then you'd go a week or two, and then there'd be $750, and then there would be $1,500. Mm-hmm. But now it seems like they're more regularly. You're busier each week more often, and regularly you're having those spikes on a week like this.
Yeah. So we talked about this because I talked to a friend of ours who's in voiceover. You know who you are. But the first 2 years, especially, it was like quiet, couple jobs, quiet. For maybe, a week or two, I'd have a big boom of jobs. And then I'd be off, not very many for 3 weeks or something. And I'd be like, wow, this is, but then the next year it was a little bit less of a lull and more jobs. Yeah. And this year it's been, 1 or 2 weeks of over $1,000 each time. And then it's, $500 and then back up for a week of over my goal of $750, and then 2 weeks it's down. But overall, I'm above my my goal this year. Actually, as of I don't even know. As of yesterday, I was at $38,461.27. My goal is to make over $40,000 this year in voiceover, and if everything continues to go the way that it's going, I will make that. And that has been my goal: is to crack the top 25% of voice talents. Not to brag or anything like that, but just as a personal giddy up to myself. So anyway, just a heads up, being transparent, that's where I'm at, $38,461.27. So Yours?
Yeah.
Yours?
So I had, as I said earlier, I had 2 jobs on Upwork. I continue to try to pan for gold there by sending out more proposals. Hudson knows and has made a lot more money than I have on there, but I'm trying to ramp up on there. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm spending money on marketing on Upwork, which is, as I understand it, and you can help me out, it's buying connects. Because you get a certain amount of connects per month given to you, and then you can buy more connects.
Yep.
And so I'm doing that. They aren't very expensive. Nevertheless, it keeps me in the game, and I can keep auditioning and hopefully move my way up the ladder like I did on Fiverr. But what were you going to say?
No, each job has an allotted amount of connects that it costs to audition for. Yeah. And so for me, I have found that it's worth it to buy connects so that I can always be ready to go after the jobs that I want to. There aren't very many out there that I don't go for because I'm not very picky, because I want to work. So that's just, I've made way more money than I've spent on connects. So anyway,
your
just
ROI,
to let people know
ROI
that
is good too.
If you're doing Upwork and you're like, I don't know if I should buy connects, is it a great? I would do it if you can. Yeah. Reinvest that money maybe that you've made from a prior job on there or something. So.
Well, the standard concept is that companies are supposed to spend 20% of their budget on marketing. I don't spend anywhere near 20%. And the ROI that I spend with direct marketing and with, we used to buy some things with Fiverr. I don't know if we do anymore, like promoted things. Gigs. And then on Upwork is minimal compared to the ROI. So for my money, it's worth it. Then on Fiverr, I had 12 jobs, $1,704. That's that's a good week. My impressions were going down and such, but I still hung on and made almost $2,000. And that's I'm trying to shoot between $1,000 and $2,000 on Fiverr. And then my direct marketing was down this week at $2,570. My total was $4,544 this week. So
were your impressions on Fiverr at 300 like mine were this week?
No.
333 and 3 clicks?
Yeah. No, I'm not there. So my keys again is I'm trying my best to investigate and invest in another avenue, because Fiverr and Voices.com this last year have plummeted more for me. I mean, a few years ago, I made $113,000 on Fiverr. Wow. $113,000 on Fiverr. 3 years ago, I think it was. Well, this year I'm over 60, but see, that's about half. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to up my game in Upwork, and I'm still doing, like when I have a slow week work-wise, I try to send out more proposals for Upwork. I'll buy a few connects. I do more Voices.com auditions, and as I said last week, I'm a tad bit less picky on Fiverr because I want to work. I want to fill my day with voiceover work so I can make a certain amount per day, per week, per month, per year. And I'm behind in that. This year I'm behind. And it's going to be tough to make the $300,000 mark. I'm still within range if things turn around here a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was somewhere between I wouldn't be surprised if I was around 290.
Oh wow!
Unless things, like a few clients that have kind of gone quiet, and I know why they have. They say that they have more work and there's things in motion, but sometimes, like Jonathan said, it might be next year that they start to ramp up a little bit. But whatever, I'm happy with that. It's not like, I'm not at all depressed by making $290,000. I've had 3 years of $300,000 and more prior to that. But so what I'm trying to do is just trying to kind of work at doing this plus investing in your business and VO Marketing Pro Plus. We want to give those folks a good shot in the arm as they try to work on pushing the boulder up the hill. I'm starting to think about letting my boulder just roll back a little bit at my age. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Any parting thoughts, Johnny?
Nope.
Before you go, keep marketing. Yep. Keep doing the things that you've been doing. even if there isn't a ton to show for it right now, unless
don't
you're
get discouraged by the holiday season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Keep your head up, and if you ever have questions, let us know. Once again, VOMP Plus will be coming out soon, so if you want to be part of that, check out the links below, and we hope you had a good week. If you didn't, stick in there and keep working at it. So thanks for watching, and we will see you next week for our Todd's Tips and Numbers. So see you then.